Hey, what's good? It is 2025, which means that I need to do my annual little tour of the office. Last year I shot it all on my phone and it was super basic. This year I have a better phone. I'm going to try and do better with the upgrades, but also I want to use this video as a demonstration of how you can make a decent video with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So everything you're seeing and hearing is shot just using this phone. So I'm going to give you a guided tour. You let me know what you think of the quality. Should I switch over to a DSLR next year? Just give me some feedback. It'd be really cool to have. And it's also edited entirely on the iPhone. No Premiere, all on this one device. So enjoy the tour and let me know what you think. So as you come into the room, you'll see that it's very similar to last year. We've got some new chairs, a couple of new ornaments and things like that. But I think over here is where we're going to be getting the most upgrades. It just looks like a plethora of buttons right now. Looks a bit messy, but I'm going to walk you through the whole process. But I just want to start over here because I set up this podcast table and I showed it off last year. And I've actually still got the microphones and everything all set up here. The podcast itself kind of fell through because my co-host was being a pain in the backside and we just couldn't make things work in terms of timing. But I don't know, I've got the gear, I just need somebody to do it with. So I'm still working on it, give it a bit of time and I may be able to make it happen. One of the coolest features this year is this guy right here. My fiance got this for me for Christmas. And it's a little mini fridge. I've only got a can of Monster and some chocolates and stuff in there at the moment, and it's so cool that I have that here. Some Christmas decorations that are going to be put away in a couple of days. And then up here, we just have some ornaments. I need something to display here. I don't know what. I'm thinking some gaming stuff, but I'm not too sure. Right now, it's just filled with snacks and stuff that I've got to try and eat before I start my crazy diet. If you don't know what that's about, go check out the vlog channel because I'll break it down over there. I recently bought these two awesome, super comfy chairs. I've no idea where these are from, but a friend of ours was selling them and I managed to get them for a really good price. I think they're worth like over $1,000 and I got them for $350, something like that. So super nice and they're way better than the old chairs that I used to have here. And of course, we still have all the pop figures. Every time I rearrange this display, they just get knocked over again. So maybe I could put the pop figures over there. It would take a very long time. And what would I use this for? I don't know, but we'll work on it. And of course, we've got Grogu chilling over there with a pussycat and Captain America shield. Got this little nice little dining table over here for the controllers if we're playing some games up on the big screen, which coming over here, this is a 55-inch telly, something like that. Now, this telly's got a Chromecast. It's also hooked up to some of the retro consoles under here, like the Wii U, the Wii, the Xbox One. And of course, it's also hooked up to the Xbox Series X, the PS5, and Nintendo Switch, which anytime I want to play all of these, they're all hooked up to a little HDMI switcher thing, so it's easy just to go from one device to another and not really worry too much about it. And the reason I have these is because like my kids love sitting down playing some Mario, and I think it's good to get them into the same games that I was into when I was younger. So we can just grab one of these and have a nice little family night, do whatever we need to do on the Wii. And then let's say I want to whip out some God of War. I can just go grab a controller, switch to HDMI, and I can just chill. It's like an all-encompassing room because it's a family home. I haven't quite reached that YouTuber level where I have a dedicated studio space just yet. But I mean, this is a shared space. My kids can come in, they can play around, we can muck around together, play some Fortnite, whatever it is, and then I can have my time as well with my own little worky area that we're going to talk about next. But before we do, it's worth giving a shout out to Elgato because they've hooked me up with so much stuff this year. Of course, we have the Keylight. I've got two of these now. This is the Mark II and this is the Mark I. Depending on what I'm shooting, I may have both over here if I need a nice little light on my face while playing a game. Sometimes I'll put the light facing this way. In this situation, I've been tidying and organizing this. I needed it for a shot, and that's why I love the Keylights. They are so versatile, and I'll put a link to everything in the description down below. If you need a light for content creation, get this. I love it so much. I've got a full video breaking it down. Just check it out. Trust me, it's worth the money. One other thing I've changed is I've got like little USB-C and micro USBs and all that kind of stuff just waiting here in case I need to charge something. Squirtle can just budge up a little bit, and any devices like Kindles, headphones, battery packs, they can all get charged right here. It's in our own dedicated space, and if we have guests, there is an outlet right here as well. And I'm sure I showed this off in a previous video, but this is one of my first cameras. This is the Canon 1000D. I got this when I was a teenager. And I got this thinking I'm going to use this to become a famous YouTuber. I'm going to be successful with it. Turns out it doesn't shoot video, which kind of sucked, but it got me into photography, which taught me the basics of how to use a camera. So it worked out in the end. And then, of course, we come over here to all the fancy stuff. So a couple of changes from last year. The most notable ones is this weird rig that we have over here. So we've got, like I said, another Keylight just sat here. This is my main well, Keylight for all my videos. And then this guy, this long pole, is a SMALLRIG, I can't remember the name of it. I'll put a link in the description, but essentially it's just a pole with different adapters and variable lengths. So you can just take that one off, you can take this off, you can take that off. It can mount phones, it can mount cameras, lights. It's really, really sturdy. So I could put the Keylight on this. I could put 2 Keylights even, and it would still work great. And the reason I have this is because I can then take this arm off if I want to do this, just screws off. I can put it up here and I have an overhead DSLR rig. But then I could just take the pole off at the top, put it right here, and I have a permanent phone setup to record all of my vertical shorts and things that I've been doing recently. For those of you who don't know, here's a little demonstration. Yes, the ratio just changed, but this is the kind of shot that you would be able to get using this setup. I just wanted to kind of demonstrate that for anybody who hasn't seen some of my short form videos, and I love this little setup, man. It's so easy to put the phone here, hit record, and just share a little message, share whatever's going on. I think this thing was kind of expensive. It's 40-ish quid. Like I said, links to everything down below. I get that this may not be a big deal for most people, but having an overhead shot whenever I need it, it's super, super useful. The keyboard I'm using at the moment is an ADX keyboard. I can't remember the exact model, but it's super cheap. I think this one was like 20 quid. And then of course for the mouse, we have the M65 Ultra. Awesome mouse. I love this thing to pieces. I've used loads of mice in the past. I've had things like the MX Master. I've had a couple of other Logitech ones. I've had Razer mice. And honestly, this one is probably my favorite just for versatility. I do kind of miss the MX Master. I want to try the MX Master 3, I think it is. But it's just, I've got such a great ecosystem right now going on. And I have like macros assigned to my keys. It's a lot of effort transferring all that over to, to another mouse. But maybe we'll try it out at some point. Then we have my Stream Decks. Now these things I love to pieces. If you know me at all, you know how much I love talking about these. But I just got this one here, which is the Stream Deck Plus, and I'm in the process of setting up all of my streaming and recording stuff on this one. So you can switch from like a PC scene to gaming to full screen, all that good stuff. And then I want to go over to this and use this one for recording and like equipment management. So I can turn the lights off like so, tap the button, they turn back on. I've got all my replay buffer, my OBS recording buttons and stuff all set in here. So it's a really cool ecosystem. If I'm streaming, I use this. If I'm recording or I want to manage stuff in the setup, I can just use this guy. The only thing I don't like about this setup right now is my monitors, because they are the oldest thing that I have. These, you can literally get these for 30 quid on eBay. That's how old they are. 1080p, 60 hertz. They're not necessarily bad, but they are just so old. The color accuracy is terrible, and these are going to be my next upgrade. I've got everything else I need now. I found 3 monitors that I want, but they're £600 a piece. Dropping 1,800 quid on some screens is not something I can justify. So let me know if there's anybody out there that wants to hook a brother up. I would be happy to make a couple of videos on them and let people know whether they're worth investing into. Then, kind of speaking of screens, we have this guy over here, which is the Elgato Teleprompter. I'm still getting used to this. There is a massive learning curve because it's not just something that displays text, right? It's like we can tap this button here. We can go onto this and like we can scroll through it. We can get our talking points if we're recording a video, and obviously you can see that the camera is mounted behind there. So it's a proper prompter, but at the same time, if we tap the button, it's got its own display. You can put your Twitch chat on here. You can obviously control Spotify, Google Chrome, anything you want to from this device. So I'm trying to find like a really cool, resourceful way of using this. But I mean, I didn't think, in all honesty, that I was going to get much use out of it. But after using it for a couple of weeks and trying to get used to the way that it works and the possibilities with it, I've got some very good ideas and I can't wait to share them. It's going to take some time to like put everything together, but I didn't know I needed one until I had one. Then the only other thing really here worth talking about, we've got a wireless charger, which is super old. I've got a new iPhone 16 Pro Max, like I said at the beginning of the video, so it's nice just to have wireless charging as well as wired options. I have like USB-C cables scattered everywhere. Do not judge the cable management. I am going to be moving things around, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But then we come over to the final peripheral, I suppose you could call it, and this is my microphone at the moment. This is the Fifine K688. Really cool mic, and the reason I'm using this rather than the Elgato Wave 3 is because I'm actually testing out this guy right here, which is the XLR dock for the Stream Deck. So I don't know if this is going to be a permanent feature because I have a whole drawer now of microphones that I constantly switch between. But this is a great microphone. I love it. I just really wanted to test out the XLR feature features, and so far it's the best mixer that I have ever used. And I've used like Focusrite's, I've used the one Fifine sent me, the SC something or other, and I absolutely love this thing right here, man. It is so damn good. The only issue with it is that you can't use the Elgato Wave 3, which is a great microphone, and it was my daily driver with the dock, because obviously the dock enables XLR. The Wave 3 isn't XLR, so it's kind of, I want to test it. I think I'm going to go back to using the Wave 3 in USB-C format, but then I will get the USB-C dock for the Stream Deck. I think that makes sense. If you're into tech, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not into tech, I'm just confusing the hell out of you. I'm sorry. And then while we're on the topic of audio, you can see that I've got two pairs of headphones over here. I've got the PlayStation Pulse headphones, which my dog actually chewed to pieces. I've repaired, and I only use those really when I'm like chilling over there, playing some PlayStation, Black Myth Wukong or whatever. And of course, we got my Sony something or others, WH. I'll put the name of these on screen now. They're my typical going out headphones, so I've got those charging with the USB-C over there right now. But my daily drivers sit under here. This is the HS80 Max headset. Again, this was a gift from Corsair, and I love these things to pieces. I'm yet to find a pair of headphones at this price range that are as good for not only listening to music and gaming, but also like video editing, because sound design is an essential part of video editing itself. And these are my all-rounders. These are perfect for everything I do while I'm sat at this desk, and then also at the same time they can connect to my phone through Bluetooth, so if I get a call while I'm in the middle of editing a video, I can just answer that or switch by tapping a button, and it's it's seamless. So I love these things to pieces. I want to try the Virtuoso at some point, but they're expensive. Canon 700D with a standard kit lens, 18-55 on it, just because I don't need to put anything fancy for this setup right here, so I don't really bother too much with it. I am thinking of upgrading my camera at some point, so if I do, I don't know if I'm going to be putting the new one here, or whether that is just going to be my permanent like webcam camera. And then finally, I can't forget about this. YouTube actually sent me my first ever play button. It is made out of Lego. It is adorable, and I built this on stream on the gaming channel to kind of celebrate 2024, and it's so cute. We're a long way off of getting an actual real play button like the ones you hang up. I don't even have any wall space. I don't know where I put it, but just the fact that Google sent me this is kind of being part of a program, recognizing that I'm a content creator. It meant the world to me. I'm probably soppy like that, but when you spend years of your life making content and you actually kind of get a bit of recognition by the YouTube overlords for the service that you've done and the content that you've made. So this gets pride of place, to be honest, at the moment. That is the only big main decoration that I have in the studio space right now. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about all the stuff in my drawers because I don't think people really care that much, but I've got a little Kindle, which I'm trying to read more. I know that reading is a really good habit. It's just, I find it so hard to get into consistently just because of lack of time. This guy right here is the iPad 2019 or 2020 iPad Pro. And this is, if I'm ever redesigning logos or doing anything like that, this is my go-to device. I have a little drawer of camera gear. So we've got some GoPro stuff in here, some different lenses. We've got the nifty 50, which is a nice little lens that I've hung on to for like 10 years. All of my fancy camera gear, the Sony and all that, is all somewhere else. But in here we have a couple of extra microphones. We have the Tascam, we've got some lav mics. Normally this guy right here is taking pride of place. This is the Fifine M8, which I'll have a video coming out on soon. The Video Mic Go, the Video Micro, a bunch of other cool stuff in there. Then in this drawer, we have a bunch of old hard drives with video backups. We have USB-C cables, micros, audio cables, everything you're gonna possibly need. So if you ever come to my house and need a phone charger, you are gonna be hooked up. We have some RGB lights and stuff in here that go nicely with the background. Like I said earlier, all of my microphones that I have at the moment are here. So we have the Elgato Wave 3, we have the Fifine AM8, we have the Tank 3 tucked in over here. My collection of other devices is slowly growing, so I have the Elgato HD60, which I used this for the longest time before I got the 4KX. Got the Fifine SC3 mixer, and I think that's pretty much it for everything up here, which I use on a day-to-day basis. My computer specs are the same as last year, so I'll put a breakdown of everything down below, but essentially it's a RTX 2060, it's an AMD AMD Ryzen 9. I've upgraded some of the Elgato devices, so now we actually have the 4K-X under here rather than, like I said, the HD60. I'm not going to show you the cables because it's incredibly embarrassing, but behind there we also have the Elgato Facecam, HDMI switches, every possible cable you could possibly need, Bluetooth adapters. Oh, the only thing that I did change about this is that I actually put a 2TB NVMe in here, so that's the only addition really, but she's holding strong. You're doing good, baby. I do need to upgrade the GPU at some point though, because we're starting to get a little bit sluggish. I'm waiting for the 50 series cards, but I have a feeling I'm going to be broke by the time that they come out. So there we go. That is my setup for 2025. It's, like I said, essentially it's very similar to what I had last year. The main reason I wanted to make this video is because there's actually, I'm hoping there's going to be some big changes coming to this space in the next year. I've had so much ongoing support from Elgato and Corsair, which I'm hoping is going to be a recurring thing because I love working with them. They're an incredible company, and that's why I do plug their products a lot, but it's because I genuinely believe in them, and I don't think there's anybody in the tech space that is doing what they do at the level that they do it. So while nothing in this video is sponsored, there are affiliate links down below, and if there's anything you want to pick up, check out my reviews talking about them. I showcase the positives and the negatives, and the fact that I can work with companies like Corsair, Elgato, Fifine, Adobe, Premiere Gal, like all these people that I've had the opportunity to work with over the last couple of years. As a channel my size, it is a really inspiring thing, but I also want to make sure that I'm always honest in the content that I create. That's why I only really choose to work with brands who actually make good things and care about the creator economy, which I wouldn't be here if it weren't for that. Oh, and I didn't really showcase my posters, but we have Zelda, Darth Vader, and The Last of Us. I don't know if that's something you're interested in, but they make the room come together. But yeah, to wrap things up, I definitely want to make some changes this year, and I'm thinking like I need to go around and see like how would my desk look from this camera angle? How would it look from here, looking back at the TV? I don't know. I've got to test a bunch of things, but the desk is going to be moved. All of this needs to go somewhere else. We're going to get a proper, like, nice looking live stream and video editing setup. I want to make a little bit of room for like some DIY projects and things like that in here. But also, like I said, I don't want to lose that family home kind of sense for the room. It's definitely going to be a really long-winded project. It's going to be kind of expensive if I manage to get all the upgrades done that I want to do. But at the same time, like I said last year, I care so much about the YouTube channel and the content that I create. I want to invest into it. And even if you never check out any of the products, you never buy anything, dude, that's absolutely fine. I just love being able to showcase some of the things that I have and some of the opportunities that I've been given. And the fact that I get to do that with a community that genuinely gets what it's like to be in this space, it means the world to me. So thank you. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I love you faces. Thank you for watching today's little tour of the office space going into 2025. It's going to be really fun seeing how all this changes. I love you faces. Thank you so much for watching today's video. You're amazing, you're beautiful, and I will catch you in the next one.